Well, my first night, or second night on board. Last night I slept in the back here as well. It was lovely. It was like in a cabin in the woods somewhere. But that was in the safety of the harbour, which was my base, which is the end of Gulf Jetty. And now I'm out on a rebel jetty in the middle of the canal on the way to the sea tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to go sail. Can't wait. Get this big Genoa's out in the mainsail. Feel that wind just sweep her across St Helena Bay. Getting quite poetic. Oh, I got some nice books today. I went to it's like the Yacht Club charity bookshop thing. It's got like a courtesy honesty box. So it's R5 a book. And there's some nice books. So I got 6 books. So I'll put in 40 rand tomorrow, maybe 60 rand. Let's see. It's not about that. It's just there's such nice books to share. And I actually gave one to Alan today to read on trimarans because he used to have a trimarang and raced. A good day. I learned to actually dock my battleship. It was like driving the Land Rover. Really, it was fun. It's like a big ass Land Rover, and everything's delayed by a few seconds. If you turn, you gotta like think about what's going to be happening in about 10 minutes time. No, not quite, 10 seconds time. So that's quite interesting to see how you have to plan things. And then I got this prop wash which turns to the left back ports. It's the port aft side. So that's something you have to remember. So when I pull out of my jetty, I have to go forward a bit. That's why Damien tied a rope around the pole, which I didn't pull out, but I swung my nose around that with my whatever it's called, and managed to steer around, pulled out, went really well. And then came in to dock over here, but it was dark already. It was like, ooh. Okay, that last clip was too low. Let's see this. Put a matchstick on the corner of the heat and see if that's a bit higher. Okay, that should do it more or less. Okay, a little piece to camera. I think I should do like a intro type video presentation-y thing. Okay, I'm not sure how this is all going to pan out, but okay, it's my second night on the aft cabin with the 2 double bunks and the little walkway. I don't know what you call it. It's like a little walkway to the top to the cockpit, which I've got so many great ideas for. You won't believe. Can't wait. But yeah, long story short, I had a nice day. Just getting to feel the boat and kind of get to know it better. And thanks, Jerry. It's like everything I could have wished for, really. Everything's in the right place. Everything's the right height. And, yeah. It's just me, everything. Wherever I look, it's just kind of how I would have built it, I think. Well, you built it a lot better than I could have, but you did a lot of wonderful things in this boat, thank you. So, I'm going to make it even better. In the same vein, but I'm going to make it more beautiful. The inside's perfect, but the outside needs some pimping. I have a few ideas. They're going to work. I'm learning all the time from whatever I'm doing on a boat. That works there, that works there. And I'll get some specialised input from whoever knows about things I don't know about. Well, get them to come and give their point of view. So this is kind of the beginning of Truth Seeker. You know, Truth Seeker was this concept. I woke up one morning. No, I hadn't gone to sleep yet. I think it was like... No, I lied. It wasn't before I went to bed. It was when I woke up in the morning. And you sort of wake up at 4 or something, and then you kind of think for a long time, and then you drift off. And somewhere in all those moments, this Truth Seeker, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well as it should, but the Truth Seeker. I suppose it's all based around my conspiracy theory love of what is really going on out there that we don't know about. What have we been lied to? What haven't we been lied to? We've been lied to about so many things, but we can't really prove everything until we've actually physically done it ourselves, realistically. So I could, if I had to prove something like the Earth is flat, I could sail to Antarctica and sail around it and see how long it took. But I looked at that one and I found out that you can actually fly to Rio for 9 hours. So that can't be a flat Earth. If they really do actually can make that flight happen in 9 hours. Well, we'll get to that one. Otherwise, back to the truth seeker concept. It's got to do with making a, now that I've learned all about Bitcoin, which is my next other love besides conspiracy theories and adventures and experimenting and being creative and trying to reevaluate everything that's out there. So it's a tough thing because you have to live by whatever you believe when you've discovered. So it's my Republic of Good Hope number plates, which is rebellious, but it's standing for being free, being your own sovereign person, your own real, you are only your own boss, nobody can be your boss. You're born free, so find out your rights and find out the real truth about what this is really what I've actually, after all my investigation, have come to realize that the only time you are free is when you are on a boat. It's kind of like having become a rebel, moved out into the country, got a house with things hot-wired and things not working kind of like the way they, just stepping out of the system really, and not being able to have to toe the line. Because I don't believe in this pain and suffering people should go through. It's not fair. Everybody should be empowered by knowledge, the right knowledge, and how to build things, how to make things, how to empower others, how to share, how to be thankful for stuff. Some rambling. Anyway, back to Truth Seeker. I think it's going to be a TV show on the internet, which is going to be on Steemit, which is a Bitcoin cryptocurrency of sorts, but more of a blockchain technology, which is all about, long story, but you'll figure out, you'll find out anyway. But it's a revolutionary way of being not able to fake or break or destroy establishment by lying about things. You have to follow a certain kind of algorithm, which is a truth that can't be broken. So if you pay somebody, you get money in from somewhere, from the populace, and it has to be allocated to somebody who is personally responsible for a certain amount of money to do a certain thing. If he does it well, he gets more money. If he doesn't, his money dries up. And that's it should be a fair estimate of the amount of work that people do to what they earn, not how much they think they are worth. But it's not the whole story. Well, this is it. This is my way of running away from having a small holding with other people on it, which I really don't want to have to deal with. I kind of like just being free, where I don't have to acknowledge what other people want or think or expect or whatever it may be. I just want to be on my own little adventure, and if I'm not disturbing anybody, I do no harm, mean no bad feelings to anybody, or don't want to cheat anybody, don't want to have to feel bad about anything, don't want to have to take other people's bad energy on. You can just go and do your thing, and if you don't want to be in a situation, you just move on, and you meet new people, and you tell the truth, and you find out truths, and you show how people live, and you share knowledge, and you have a fun time, and have people want to maybe watch you to see if they too could enjoy this journey of finding out stuff. It might make me unpopular among certain people, but they do what they do and I do what I do, and I just tell their story, and they must decide what they want to do about that. Hopefully they don't take me out. Maybe they will, but there'll be a video of it anyway, so it'll all be worthwhile. So yep, this is a journey, and this is where I am. I'm 2-3 weeks away from my payment for my house, which is my hard-earned living. Bought my first house, paid it off, had lots of headaches with it, lots of adventures. But Scott Street is going to be a sore loss, but this is a better find. So I'm going with this. This is the energy of OBS going into another beautiful adventure. This one's even bigger. This one can take me anywhere in the world. There's just too many adventures waiting. So, well, this is part of the story anyway. And you know, if you think this is fun, what's what they say? Share, like, and what was it? Pay. But if you want to donate some Bitcoins or Satoshis or Steem it or Monero or Ripple or Ethereum Classic or Bitcoin Cash or what are the others? There's some great ones that we have to look out for. EOS is good. Dogecoin. That's another little green side of me that I kind of love to explore, is how to change the world through green stuff. So, you know, if you had to make hemp boards, hemp clothing, hemp whales, hemp, and that could be done in Transkei, where all the people know how to grow marijuana, so they can just as well grow hemp. But therefore, why don't they just grow marijuana and make hemp oil and heal people that have cancers and aches and pains and Parkinson's and brain tumors and all these things which should really be healed by marijuana and hemp and green stuff, you know, just things which are healthy. Your body is able to heal itself if it just gets given the right muti, you know, the right stuff. So finding out all that stuff is like another part of the whole adventure, is how to heal your body yourself. And you can, you know, cancer and AIDS are partly stress, self-pity, self-problem, self-shit that you've actually put on yourself, plus bad habits, bad diets, bad poisons you put in your body. It all eventually just fucks out. So if you reverse all those things, then it should all come right. If you get it in time before you've pushed it too far. But if your body's like, you know, fucking out, then feed it what it needs to fix it. And give it some time out. You know, that's why I think boats could be amazing therapy for people that are about to commit suicide, want to jump off a building. Yeah. Before you do, just take a trip on a yacht and disappear. People thought you've just disappeared to they know where you are. Well, it's just an idea anyway. So before you jump off a building, buy a yacht now. I'll do you the video on the side that you can learn how to sell your yacht, whatever it is. I'm really starting with that. I've got all the footage from the day I first thought about this boat, actually. And that's where I must thank somebody in my life, which has broken my heart, made me wake up and smell the coffee, and in the pain that's been caused, there's also an appreciation, a love and a thankfulness of the experience in its own crazy way. But Gia sent me a message on WhatsApp and said, how's it going? And then she said something, or was it the email? I'm not sure, but she mentioned buy a yacht. Why don't you buy a yacht? So I went off and had a look, and there was Jerry's yacht, the first yacht I saw. Boom. That looks like a nice yacht. I think I'll have that. And the next morning I sent a message, email, that said only emails, no phone calls. I think Jerry or Yvonne got back to me and said, hey, this is my husband's, it's been his dream to travel the world, to go and see, go to Brazil, go to Mozambique, up to Pemba. And now he's lost his property in Wilderness where they built the boat. And because squatters have moved in, which, you know, is just land grab. So, well, they have a right, but, you know, it's not fair. My longs don't even go there. The fact is that he can't now afford to do his trip around the world, and the dream has to be, well, the boat has to be sold. I don't know why really, but you know, to pay a bond. But we're going to sort that out. We're going to buy Bitcoin, we're going to trade them, we're going to make his money back. I always said to Jerry, look, you know, it's our boat. You built this boat, I'm just the custodian of the boat for now. I'm going to fix it up and and take that spirit of adventure further. And he's always welcome whenever he likes to come and sail with me. See, it's an open invitation, Jerry. Oh, I'm going to kidnap you once you've made your money on Bitcoin. You don't have to work no more. And we're going up to Mozambique or Brazil or both. But there's adventures that you have to come on with us. Especially Mozambique. I have a feeling about Moz going to be epic. So yeah, watch this space. We will be going to Moz at some stage. I don't know when. But it was a great day. I had to learn to dock. Got to speak properly. My nose is blocked from all those wet feet and cold weather. But yeah, I managed to learn how to do the prop. What is it called? Oh God, I can't remember. Prop wash. Yeah. When it turns, the prop turns either clockwise or anti-clockwise. And I think this one must turn clockwise because it pushes more on the right, the port side of the blade than the starboard side for some reason. So it pulls the ass to the left. So I was facing away from the direction I had to go. So we had to think what to do. And it's got such a long bottom keel that, you know, you have to actually somehow turn and move your ass around. So you've got to do it in whichever way the prop pulls. So clever thinking, we threw, or Alan decided to throw a can't say that word. It wasn't a spring, it was a, God, I can't remember. Well, I'm going to say the word and buy a coffee anyway. Buy a cappuccino for Ralph. I threw a rope around the end of the pier. No, they did around the end of a pole, actually, not a pier. I'm stoned. So I had a joint. I found this joint in the kitchen. It was left here when Connor and Mark came. Probably perfectly just placed there for me when I found it. And that kind of made me want to just walk around the boat and find how I would make all the changes. And I had some great ideas. The cabin is going to be enclosed. I'm moving the aft mast holding device in probably about so much. It's at half a meter, I'd say. Maybe a bit more. So that will be placed at the end of what the cabin cockpit space will be. So I shall put a stainless steel pipe structure around. So one in the middle to hang on to, one at the back, one on the other side, and then all the way enclosed with another piece of stainless steel, but then with pegs so you can grab with your hands underneath that structure. So when you pull yourself into the cabin, into the cockpit, you grab onto those handles, and then just above that there's going to be like metal bits going up, and there's going to be a roof, a solid steel roof. I might lift the front roof that's there above the cabin a little bit, by so much I think. So it's about that much underneath the actual mast, or however much I can get away with. So some people can, it makes it a bit easier to get in, but the nice thing is the whole thing's going to be a catchment area for water, for rainwater, with already got a pipe which runs down into a water tank, so free water. And then it's going to be covered with a solar panel, which is going to be somehow connected, either just raised or either way on top of that. And in the middle, a piece cut out with a perspex window. So you can look up and see what the sail's doing, what the luff and the, what are the little things are called? I won't remember them. Something tails. Wasp's tails. So when those are level, you know that the wind's crossing over those sails perfectly from the inside. So it's like a plain wing, and it pulls, but it's going to flow perfectly. So those sails are going to be pulled to be tight enough to be able to create this flow of air. So these are things that you need to be able to see from inside the cockpit, but you want to close it in so that if it's a rainy winter's night with storms and lightning and gale force wind, you're inside a little cabin which is zipped shut with transparent windows. And I think I might still make it from that same color fabric as the actual sails are. and it'll have zips on the sides and then little windows, quite big windows, so you can see out. Those PVC windows. And inside, or the whole deck, I'd love to go speak to Connor, and he's not the manager of Flooring Depot. You'd plug Flooring Depot on this one. But give me all the offcuts of all the bits that they have of similar type wood. It could be slightly different, but sort of shades of similar oaks or whatever. And we cover the whole top deck with this fake, well, it's actually laminated. Maybe they've got a plastic one, or whatever they've got that will last out here. If it's just varnished, or something you can stick down would be great. I don't know, we'll see. But it's going to be durable but look like wood and be warm when you lie on it and last in the sea weather. So it's going to be quite a test for any product. But yeah, that would be nice. Make the windows on the actual cabin, what do you call it, the bridge. When you stand on the bridge and look through the big windows, they're this big. They must be almost the whole length of that, so you can see beautifully out the front. And that should all be shatterproof glass, whatever, thick, 2-inch, whatever, some glass that's strong and kind of doesn't let the cold in, because you're going to get spray hitting it, so you don't want that to get too cold and make the cabin cold. And then yeah, some padding where there's winches are, they're totally in the wrong place. They're going to move back about that much to behind the cockpit when you climb into the cockpit, because that's going to be completely open, so you can have a nice padded piece of something, fabric, on that section that's between the cockpit and the outside deck. So you can sit on that when you put your legs through. This is not something hard, you need something soft there, and you can grab on the top, and it'll look quite stylish actually, with a bit of retro, with all that lovely canvas. And then the inside of the cabin, or the cockpit, is going to be panelled out wood, same stuff as on the deck maybe, or real wood, or plywood, whatever it may be. Might look quite funky, but trying to keep it rustic. And then yeah, whichever instruments are cool, old nice ones as well, but then a couple of spaces for maybe a nice barometer up there would be nice, a clock, so you can see your watches and your your speed, and a place where you can put your GPS, maybe a spot for the laptop or tablet above the doorway that goes down on that little spot there, which is on the other side of that. So yeah, you can at least, that's maybe too far, we'll figure it out. Oh, but the whole thing is so beautiful. There's so many things to do, and I just want to thank Jerry for giving me this boat, and thank my mum for always being there for me. This is to you and Auntie Anne, and all the good people in my life that have brought me this far. Thank you. I do appreciate it, and I'm very happy to be here. This is a sanctuary for me to find myself again, and just recreate the adventure that I always wanted to have, that I've sometimes lost the vision of. So yeah, now to film stuff, I suppose that's going to be just the main objective in editing it. Think about that, but that's going to happen, you know. I was thinking of putting an ad in the newspaper or somewhere saying a sailing woman with editing skills and lots of adventure in her blood would like to come and see the world and make crazy movies that tell the truth about what's going on, even if it is a little dangerous. There's a lot of learning that can be shared with others from very learned people that have lived, and just tell stories of great knowledge that can be shared to make people's lives better. A lot of it's going to be stuff that people should be able to choose if they want to watch. Just We'll drop a hint in a conversation with all the people we meet without pushing an agenda. We'll just say, well, do you know? Have you thought about this? Have you figured this out? Here's a question. And not maybe put it to you guys. Alright, you get back to me with what you think is the truth about this. And we see what people come up with. Everybody has a choice to put the point. I mean, the perfect example is the flat earth. Who believes it's flat? Who believes it's round? Yeah, what is the truth? I have no idea. I've thought about it. I've looked at some of the stats. I kind of wonder sometimes why some satellites can send signals all around the world, depending where you are. Well, there's lots of questions to be answered, and we'll figure them out along the way. And sometime you might press a few wrong buttons, but sometimes we'll help people to find a truth and a reality and a way to base their lives on, to maybe be thankful for what they have. Doesn't matter who, what colour, what race, what situation they're in. I mean, there are some which are just horrific, like what the West has done to Syria. That is just criminal. Yeah. But here's to all the people that want to be free and want to actually make their lives better. You know, you can always buy a boat. Club together, get a fucking boat. Yeah, let's go conquer the world from our own perspective. Go and find the people that we like and live with them, and stay away from, put your TV off, throw it out the window. If you want some knowledge, go find it on the internet. And if you don't know where to look, just follow the truth seeker. I'll try not to be biased too much in any way, but you know, I'll just tell it from my point of view, and it's up to you to tell me your point of view, and then we can investigate it. We can put it through a test of sorts. Yeah. It's going to be fun. So welcome on the ride and see where it goes. And if you want to donate, share, like, or what was the other one? Some crypto. Any crypto you like. If you think EOS is going to go up, or Steemit, or Dogecoin, or so many. Yep, let me know. Let's all make money together. Let's all just make this work. I still think the talent exchange should be incorporated into Bitcoin or crypto as a crypto talent exchange. Here you go. It's based on people's time and what you do for each other. There we go. Talent crypto. There's another great idea. Yeah, so Celebi, let's try and just put heads together and come up with solutions for problems, and put them out there. You give me ideas, I'll share them. I'll try and find some wonderful, pleasurable things to do, things to learn, things to share. Just try something out and see if it works. And tomorrow I'm going to go sailing again. Without Jerry, so I won't be as nervous. Jerry, I was nervous. It's your boat. Oh. But yeah, I think tomorrow will be fun. Will be fun. I won't think. It's going to be fun. And I'm going to learn so much more. Every day I learn so much. That's lovely. I'm yakkering too much. Just this is my video diary. I thought I bought a diary of like 30 pages though, because we're reading these cool books. It's really nice books. I read like a few bits out of each one, so I know what's in them. So one day I'll be able to read them all. This is a great book. There's one story here which is so funny. So these guys on the catamaran. Oh, I think almost sank. But this was a stowaway. Can you believe it? This American guy was doing around the world. I think that's a story. Around the world solo race. And he left the port, and that evening he saw this woman with beautiful dark hair, long slender body, lovely chiseled face, gorgeous, sort of Italian looking, with chutzpah, pop a head out the front of his yacht. And he was a bit shocked, but they sailed together for the next couple of days, weeks, and became great friends. and still were friends until he was 90 or something. So yeah, lovely stories to be had on boats, and this is just a few of them in this book. And there's so many people at the club that have so many stories. John was telling me stories last night about coming into Dassenby. There it is, Dassenby. At night, he came straight out of Saldanha, and he kept one course all the way. Well done. But these are guys with stories that need to be told, captured, and brought into the story of Port Owen and Truth Seeker's beginnings, where Truth Seeker started. I'm going to put Port Owen on the back of Truth Seeker. That's her port. That's where I know her from. Her heart is here. I feel it. We have the whole St. Helena Bay to conquer. That's going to be fun. And then sneak around to Saldanha and up to Gillans Bay. It's going to be like summer. And then winter comes, April. We head up to Mozambique. That's a plan. If God willing, if there's one, or any universal energy that might be there, or if it only is us that's predicting our own future, let me just predict it. Not predict it, manifest it, create it, imagine it. Imagine it. Hopefully it happens without too many misfortunate interventions along the way. But I'm not going to realize, I'm not even going to think about those possibilities. That's why I'm moving on, starting anew. Only good energies, only good thoughts, and good deeds, and good, well, controversial subject matter, but with the good intention of making people believe or understand that they have the power of being whoever they want to be, and as powerful as they possibly want to be in the world, if they choose to be, if they are willing to accept that responsibility of being a responsible citizen, not citizen, a responsible free man, a free spirit, mean no harm. I don't even know what the other set of understandings are, but but it sums it up. It's like in the Bible it says, do to your neighbour as you'd like your neighbour to do to you. Now, where did that go wrong? It's in all the religions. They all say the same thing. It's pretty much the best philosophy, really. But something's gone horribly wrong, and that's what we need to. We have to figure it out. What happened with people? Well, we all know what happened. Greedy fuckers that just want to take control of the world, but yeah, they have to be brought out. People need to know who they are, so they can stop. Just leave us in peace and let us just get on with fixing our lives again. Really, we don't need people that are destroying our lives. And that's the choice we have, is not to be part of it. Just don't even acknowledge it. This is maybe not the most PC thing to say, and maybe this shouldn't be on video right now, but the only way to be free is to understand your rights as being a common law person, somebody that has been hijacked his life, his straw man, his fake identity of capital letters, which is what is given to you when you're born. You get an ID number which gives you a link to the government for them to be able to use you as their collateral for the rest of your life. If you acknowledge the capital letters entity they've created for you, which is the one that pays for everything, pays taxes, pays for licenses and insurances and whatever they feel that you have to pay for their establishment to run. When you don't need that, you could be living on a boat, or you could claim a piece of land in a bloody Ciskei, one of the homelands that you ran away from originally, if you're talking directly to people, and start communities and learn how to be green permaculturists and grow green stuff that's healthy, like marijuana and hemp, and grow food that is healthy for people to eat, and just make compost and do the things which we've done 1,000 years ago, and we just don't feel like doing because everything's been mechanized. So you don't need all that mechanized stuff. I mean, if you step away from TV, step away from all those electronic things, and you find yourself like this, on the back of a boat. The only electricity is the electrified light, which comes from recharged batteries, which could come from the sun, and the candle, which is probably all you need, really. You don't have to do much light if you want to put it on or off. But that's what you get with a candle, anyway. Alright, I think it's getting to the end of this long monologue, which has got a bit tiresome, really. But there's lots of philosophies to be brought to the fore, which could make the world a better place. And I think if we could just share a little bit of that knowledge that people have, one old truth seeker, and we shall seek and find stuff and share it with you, and hopefully it changes your life for the better, like it has mine so far, anyway. I hope the rest of the journey goes as beautifully as I want it to be. I'm sure it will. Because if you just think positively and try not to get drawn into other people's shit, you should be fine. And we'll just be fine until something goes wrong. It's out of your control, and then try and be fine about that too. Because it gets better so much quicker when you just are fine with stuff, rather. When you don't have to involve any other people, or not too many, or people that are unkind to you, then move along. Okay. Enough said.